Hey, today is day 9, and day 9 is focused on SQL. Okay, so you already know about SQL, structured query language. All right, and before understanding SQL, let me give you some basics about data. Okay, every day, a huge amount of data in volume uh, is going to be generated, or not going to be, but it is generating every second. Okay, for example, I click a picture in my phone, the data is generated. I'm recording this video, the data is generated. It's in GB. Okay, um, similar to that, you will find you writing text, you are sharing your memes, you're sharing some message, you're tweeting somewhere, and so on. Okay, so data is continuously being generated in billions. Okay, there's a huge quantity of data. Okay, so now data is of two types majorly. Somebody say that there's a third type, like same semi-structured kind of thing, but let's keep it simple and consider those as two different types of data. One type of data is a structured data, and the other type is unstructured data. So when you see a huge amount of data is being generated, generally this data is considered as unstructured. Okay, any image, any text, any video, any audio, all of these kind of data you see are unstructured data. There's no structure to them. Okay, images can be in any form. um, Images can be of anything, any size. Okay, so there's no fixed thing about an image. You are watching a video in 4K, you are watching a video in 720 pixels, you are watching a video in 144 pixels, and so on. All right, so there is no structure to it, there are multiple forms, and similar to that there is a structured data. All right, so huge amount of data, I think 70-80% of the data in the world is generally unstructured, and you need to find a way to put it in a structured format so that it will be easy for you to use it. All right, and to do that we also have another form, that is a structured data. And structured data generally is stored in a way, that means rows and columns. You already know about CSV files, you already know about Excel sheets. There is a proper table available, you have columns and you have rows, you have cells to store those data. All right, now all of these data paths are available. And uh, when you talk about structured data is more towards um, storing data in a certain format. Okay, like I told you, in a row and column format. Okay, and that is why we have relational databases. So initially uh, there is a structure to store data, we call it relational databases. And initially years ago, when there are no different type of different schemas available, people are going to store it in a structured manner. Okay, even Facebook was storing the data in relational databases. Later they come up with a different ways like Node.js, not Node.js, Neo4j to store data in a graphical format, and different graph databases, and you have different kind of databases available. But majorly I am focusing on relational databases. You are storing the data in a structured manner. And to manage that relational database, which is row and columns, you need a particular language. So that language is available to us, which is structured query language. Okay, so it's a query language. You give a query, it will give you an output. Okay, you give a query, it will perform an action, and so on. All right, so it can be CRUD operations like create, update, read, delete. Okay, so you can create a particular document or a record in a table, you update it, you delete it, and so on. All right, so to do that, to manage those kind of data sets, you have SQL. And you will always find SQL somewhere, or SQL is a very important skill. If you see top 5 skills, top 10 skills, you will always find SQL as well in this, and in this field, in this industry, because you understand that for years people are storing their data in relational databases, and to manage that, SQL is a very simple language to do that. um, it is very useful tool as well. All right, so that is why it is important. Okay, so That's why we are going to use and focus on SQL. All right, because data can be any format. If your company is going to work with a client which is an old client and they have years of data stored somewhere in relational databases, most probably they are using relational databases because at that time there's no different type of schemas available, and that is why you are going to need SQL. All right, and that is what I covered in this, so you can understand all of those parts. Okay, this is again from a video I shared, not shared publicly, but it is from a lecture in AI Engineer headquarters, and from there I extracted that text from my video. All right, so you will have this guide to work with, and along with that, as I told you, on day 8 we added two more things. One is a research paper and the second one is a book. For next 7 days, we are going to follow the same book that I mentioned here. And for next 3 days, or now next 2 days, we are going to follow the same research paper. After that, after day 10, I'm going to change the research paper that you can work on. All right. And parallelly, you can go on the dashboard and you will find research papers added here. So you will find research paper here. Okay, the same research paper I'm going to add there. Okay, so you can find all list of research papers here. All right, so that's it for our day 9. All right.